What is this guy riding? Is that a scooter? Oh my god, it's a pit bike. Awesome. You are a brave soul. In the rain, hauling groceries, illegally riding a pit bike down the side of the road. That man is my hero. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Dork Side. It is I, your friendly neighborhood dork in the road, and today we are riding in the rain, or at least in the wet conditions in between rainstorms, hoping we can get out and back before the rain comes back. I thought today it might be cool to talk about a topic that's been on my mind quite a bit the last couple days. I'm really strongly leaning towards acquiring probably a second motorcycle, and I'm really thinking about getting a dual sport bike. Let me just first give a shout out to Everride. He has the coolest ADV adventure biking dual sport motorcycling channel on YouTube, and it is fantastic, and his videos are amazing and beautifully shot and well narrated, and a lot of work goes into him, and he's a real inspiration. So you can't watch his videos, and I've been watching a lot of them lately, and not want to go dual sport motorcycling to get off road. I love my CB500F. I've said that 1,000 times, but it is a street bike, and it's great for that. As a young man, I grew up in a small town, and so spent a lot of time exploring out-of-the-way areas, trails, stuff like that existed around my town. And then as I grew up and got my first truck, I really love driving around the woods, checking out. We have a ton of logging roads nearby. I miss that a lot, and I still have a truck, but I don't know, I don't get out and do that very much. But on a motorcycle, that would be super fun. And the reason why I want a dual sport is I know myself well enough to know that if I have to put a dirt bike on a trailer and take it somewhere, that won't happen very often, or in the back of the truck. I want to be able to get on the thing and go and ride it to where I want to ride it off-road, and then ride it home. I also want to go on little exploration adventures, like you ever watch BakerXDerek's old DR200 videos? He has a lot of cool fun stuff that he got into, and now on his Grom he's doing the same thing. Just finding back out of the way stuff, even in town. So I miss being able to just be like, hey, a gravel road, I wonder where it goes, and get on it and go. So I'd like to be able to do that again. And a dual sport is the way to do that. So I'm thinking real seriously about a dual sport. You know, this is going to be a shitty long ride if I'm stuck behind this bus. This is what I don't understand. If you drive 12 feet between stops, why can't the kid just walk 12 feet? Now that I've decided that I am interested in a dual sport, the question becomes, which dual sport? And I've watched a lot of videos, read a lot of articles, checked out some forum posts, and money is a factor. I can't afford to spend, because if I could buy any bike in the world, I'd buy an Africa Twin, but they're like $14,000, so I'm probably not going to do that. But I'm thinking something smaller, lighter, easier to dink around on. And my plan was to save up a bunch of money and buy a used one. But I've been looking on Craigslist all over the state, everywhere, and I know it's not motorcycle purchasing season quite yet, but the prices are ridiculous. Like, you look up the NADA price on an old DRZ 400, and NADA or KBB say $1,500, and local dealership / local private seller has them for $3,500. They just seem to hold their value around here. And so that got me at least considering new. I think right now I'm looking at 250s. Which could be problematic because I'm a sort of a large dude, but everything I've read says it's still possible, and you know, it's bad for the suspension theoretically, but still fun. And that's, you know, I need it to be fun and not be too much fun where I could get myself in trouble. So I guess if I get a 250 and then decide I hate it, I'll upgrade at some point in the future, but I can't see it. It just seems like a lot of fun. Here are the bikes I've looked at. Well, and they're not all 250s. So I've looked at Yamaha TW200, Suzuki DR200, the Yamaha XT250, a neat little bike, Honda CRF 250L, and I've looked into the Kawasaki KLX 250S, but nobody around here seems to have them. We have Kawasaki dealerships, but nobody has them. So those are the bikes I've looked at, and one of my major concerns so far has been, or at least the first thing I was super worried about was seat height, because while I'm average height, I'm 5'10", 5'11", my inseam is kind of short, like 31 inches, so tall bikes have concerned me. It's one of the reasons why I ended up with the CB500F, because it's got a low seat. What's this bus doing? Pulling over? Oh, he's letting us over. That's really cool, actually. So, of those, the KLX and the CRF have the highest seat height. I know there's a Yamaha 250R, WR250R. That's a great bike, but the retail price is almost $7,000, and that's more than I can spend right now. And the seat height on that thing, I think, is like 37 inches, which is cray-cray, as they say. God, this lake has gotten bigger. That's amazing. Initially, I went and sat on a few. Well, I've sat on the XC250 and the TW200. The seat height is great on those, but the concern then is ground clearance and suspension travel because the seat height is so low. I've sat on the XC250, sat on the TW200. Seat height is fine on those. I've also sat on a couple V-Stroms, and the seat height on that one I think is 32, 34 inches. So I feel like I haven't sat on them yet, but I want to. Go check out the CRF 250L and maybe the KLX. I might be able to make that seat height work. And this is an area in which my weight will help me because it'll push that suspension down, make it so I can get to the crown. The dealer near me has good deals on TW200s. I'm not sure that's enough bike for me, and the balloon tires, the big ATV tires, are cool and kind of novel, but I also want to be able to ride this thing on the highway, and the combination of the 200cc engine and the big balloon tires, I don't need to go on the freeway, but I will need to ride highway to places nearby that have logging roads and stuff. Concerns me. So I want to test ride one, and I may test ride it. But I have a concern, is all I'm saying. And then the XC250 feels real good when I sit on it. I think it feels capable of planted. Ride has a fantastic video review of them. He really was just gushing about how cool they are. So that's a big feather in the cap of that bike. I'm interested in the XC250. Local dealership has a few of the prior model years a little bit cheaper, so that makes it cool. I've seen one used one, but it's not that much cheaper than a new one, so I don't know. And then there's the CRF 250L. And I know the new one's coming out next year. And I know the Rally's coming out, but the Rally's a lot more, and I'm trying to stay. Really, I'd like to spend like $3 grand, but I don't know, it's gonna end up being like $5, I bet. The XC250 was the front runner for a while because I thought I had a good line on a deal or two, and low seat height made me feel comfortable, but I'm getting away from that. I gotta go, I'm gonna do some test rides soon. Right now, I don't know, I've been looking at the CRF 250L a lot more, and I'm interested in it because it's fuel injected, and so is the XC250 now. The CRF 250L has more horsepower. It's got 20 horsepower, and this is silly, maybe to some of you, but it has a gas gauge, which I think is really awesome, and none of the other ones do. So I'm interested in the 250L because of gas gauge. Also, it's a Honda. I like Hondas. Obviously, I'm riding one, and Honda financing is a good deal right now, 4% interest. And I had good dealing with the Honda dealership before when I bought this bike. I know not everyone's a big fan of financing, and it's not my first choice, but I can get a reasonable payment, and I'm gonna saved up enough for a decent down payment. I don't think it's going to be too awful if I do decide to go that way. Right now, my plan is to check out the CRF 250L and ride it, and potentially ride the TW200, the XC250 as well. I haven't seen anywhere the KLX 250S, like I said. And I just feel like the DRZ 400 and the DR650 are out of my price range right now. And I know that the 250 is not very future-proof, but it's also beginner-friendly, and I have, honestly, zero dirt experience, so maybe I'm better off spending a couple years on a smaller bike. What do you guys think? If you were choosing between the KLX 250, XC250, TW200, the DR200, we'll just throw it in there, even though I know that's not the bike I want, at least I'm reasonably certain, the CRF 250L, which bike would you choose? Do you feel like fuel injected is worth paying extra money, or worth excluding bikes that are carbureted? That electric start is nice, but almost all of them have it now. Suspension travel, the Honda has inverted forks, and the Honda is supposed to do a little bit better on the highway. It's got a higher top speed, it's got more horsepower. So what do you guys think? Do you own any of these bikes? I'd love to hear about your bikes and how you feel about them, especially if you're a large guy. If you're a large dude on a 250, I'd love to hear how that goes for you. So those are the bikes I'm thinking about looking at. Hopefully, maybe sometime soon we'll have a crazy cool new bike reveal video. Who knows? But I want to thank you for tuning in. This has been Dork in the Road, and if you liked what you see, you're interested in more dorky shenanigans, please feel free to hit that subscribe button, drop a like if you enjoyed the video, and be on the lookout for more motorcycling / nerdy content. Thank you very much for watching, and don't forget to be excellent to each other.
Excellent!